Thank you for tuning in today. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 changes that are coming to the Richmond area and how they may affect you in your potential move to the Metro Richmond area. And by Metro Richmond, I mean, and I say this in a lot of videos, Richmond and its surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan. And we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties of Hanover, Henrico, Chesterfield, New Kent, Goochland, and Powhatan, then subscribe below and tap the notifications bell so you can be the first to know about the current market in Richmond, Virginia. My name is Scott Dernley with Joyner Fine Properties. My team and I get calls from folks like you every single day looking to make the move to the greater RVA area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, 9 months, doesn't matter. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. All that information is linked in the description right below, and we'll help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. Okay, so let's get into our list of items. The first 2 sort of have to deal with population trends and housing, and then the last 2 are more, we'll call them cultural things and entertainment oriented, which are, all these I think are positive things. All right, so let's get into our list. Okay, so number 1 on our list is just Richmond's growing population as more Northern Virginia transplants arrive and make their way south to the RVA. So just over 40,000 folks moved to the greater Richmond area between 2020 and 2023. That's according to a just released county and city population estimate from UVA's Weldon Cooper Center. So why does this matter? So these latest estimates point to a continuation of population trends that the center has been seeing for a while and show that the pandemic era remote work shakeup that changed people's lives is really still in place for a lot of all intents and purposes. So, and they say there's very little sign of this slowing down. So this trend is going to continue. So what's happening here? So the region, RVA, continues to attract more remote working transplants from larger cities where comparatively higher housing prices have pushed them out. So this is especially Northern Virginia and really anything around the Beltway. So this can be parts of Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, anything up by the capital. It's just super expensive. So more than a quarter of DC workers worked remotely in 2022. That's the 6th highest remote rate of any city in the nation. So that is a lot, 1/4. So if they only need to go to the office occasionally, then Richmond has become a very attractive alternative for these folks. So, and here's something really interesting I found about this. By percentage of population change, New Kent County, Goochland County, and Louisa County have been our fastest growing between 20 and 23. So if you've seen my videos, these 3 counties are a little bit more rural. They're a little more on the outskirts of the city. And these more rural counties have experienced the highest percentage growth in population change. I guess folks are saying, hey, if I'm going to escape the city, let's at least and go to Richmond, let's experience something different, live in the county where I get more land and things are a little bit more spread out. But I found that interesting that those were the 3 counties that in this time of tremendous population growth that we see for Richmond, that they grew the most. So that first topic of Richmond's population growth actually dovetails nicely into number 2, which is where are all these folks that are moving to Virginia, to the Richmond area, where are they going to live? Where is RVA area's next big development coming? Over the past several years, we've seen Chesterfield County really blow up with new development, and things get pushed farther and farther away from the city. So these new developments in Chesterfield have been like Magnolia Green, Harper's Mill. These are way out Route 360, sort of headed toward Amelia. I mean, years ago when I got to RVA, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have even considered living out there. It was very remote. But, as they say, build it, they will come. And, things have just expanded out and things fill in And now that is a bustling area. So where is the next one of these developments coming? And I think we may know. Recently, East West Development paid $4 million for a 260-acre plot of land in Verina, which is part of eastern Henrico. And this neighborhood is going to be called Arcadia. Purchase has been closed, and the stage is now set for a 800-home development in Verina. The company paid, like I said, over $4 million for this farmland, known as Nelson's Farm, according to the announcement from real estate broker Thalheimer. And the deal did close on February 29th. So this transaction clears the way for the first phase of Arcadia. It's called Arcadia West, which would fill the land north between the Parkway and Wilson Road, north of Route 5. That area is planned for 500 homes, and it would be built over the next 7 years. The second phase of the project, called Arcadia East, is on the other side of Wilson Road and would total about 295 homes, and that cannot start until 2030, according to proffered conditions that East West submitted for this project. So the development is planned to be a mix of houses, townhomes, and condominiums, with prices ranging from between $200,000 and $500,000. Now, it is my sincere guess that that price range, by the time this project starts and gets going, will be a little bit higher than that. 200 to 500 seems a little bit ambitious to me, but we shall see. Trust me, it would be great if that could happen. So Arcadia is the first project in Henrico County from East West Development. They are one of Richmond's big boys. When they develop a neighborhood, they do it right. So in Chesterfield County, you'll know East West for Brander Mill and Wood Lake. Those are two of the Richmond area's very first big planned unit developments. And then another one in Chesterfield everybody knows and loves is Halsley. Then they did Giles in Hanover County recently, and Patriots Landing in New Kent. So they are a big developer, and something on this scale, with this many acres, you need somebody with experience and deep pockets, and East West does a fantastic job. So Mark Smith, East West Vice President of Development, says this project is slated to break ground this summer. That is great news. So in addition to homes, the project is also planned to have a central park and 80 plus acres of open and recreational space with bike and pedestrian connections to the Virginia Capitol Trail. That is very, very cool. Smith said that Arcadia will help meet the demand for more housing options in the metro Richmond area. And that is true. We need housing here, and the only way we're going to do it is we have to build new housing. So hats off to East West for making this happen. Verina in eastern Henrico County, I talk a lot about western Henrico County. This will be a really good project to bring some nice new housing and a beautiful new development to eastern Henrico. It's very convenient, sort of located right at 895 and Route 5. So, very good location, easy to get to a lot of, things around Richmond. So Arcadia should be a really hot new development coming up, and one that'll help solve housing needs and give a place for all these folks that are moving to the RVA to go. All right, number 3 is pretty exciting from an entertainment standpoint in the Richmond area. The Richmond Flying Squirrels, our AA affiliated pro baseball team, is finally going to get its new stadium. So this new ballpark is the centerpiece of a $2.4 billion, with a B, billion dollar, 67-acre mixed-use development at the current Diamond site. The Diamond is where they play currently. It's right along the boulevard. So the development, to be implemented in 4 stages over 15 years, would include this new ballpark for the Flying Squirrels, 6,800 structured parking spaces, 2,800 rental units, 157 single-family homes, 935,000 square feet of office space, 2 hotels offering 330 rooms, and 195,000 square feet of retail space. That was a mouthful. As you can see, this is a huge mixed-use development, with this ballpark being right at the center of it. So the Flying Squirrels would play approximately 70 games there a year, and then VCU's baseball team, Virginia Commonwealth University, they would play their home games at the stadium as well, which is very cool. So schematic designs for this new stadium and then this larger district have just been submitted to City Hall. So that's going through the approval process, which, as we know, can take some time. Now, these designs show what this ballpark would look like and how it integrates into this larger mixed-use development. The design show is what's described as a 10,000 square foot stadium with upper level suites, above open air seating, and various amenities around the entirety of the field. Would include things like an outfield playing area for children and families, terraced lawn seating, beer garden, that's important, beer garden at these baseball games, a party deck, a barbecue picnic area, and a east side main entrance that opens out to the Diamond District's big planned linear park. So it's really going to be something else. So the stadium's project cost has ballooned up. It was originally estimated to cost about $90,000. Now they're looking at about $110 to $120 million for this park. So it's going to be something else, I can tell you that. So the new stadium would rise just south from the current Diamond. And I'm telling you, the current Diamond has needed to be replaced since I got to Richmond 30 plus years ago. So I am glad this is finally happening. So the current Diamond will remain in use for the Flying Squirrels while this new project is being built. Now, the new ballpark is being designed to comply with facility standards that are being mandated by Major League Baseball for pro venues across the country, as well as mandates from NCAA Division I baseball, for its use by VCU. So Major League Baseball in recent years has assumed oversight of these minor league facilities around the country, like the Diamond, and it has set 2025 as a deadline for compliance for all venues. Now, city leaders acknowledge this, and they will not make the 2025 deadline. It looks like 2026 is going to be when the new ballpark opens up, and Major League Baseball is aware of this. So I'm sure they're working something out just because it just can't happen that fast. Now, they expect this new ballpark to take about 18 months to build. So this is very, very exciting, for this whole Diamond District development that they're calling it is right in the, sort of heart of Scott's Addition, which has already been going through a renaissance in the last, decade plus in Richmond with all the microbrewing and restaurants. And so this is really going in. There's just so many beautiful apartments now in Scott's Addition. When I got to Richmond, Scott's Addition was a place you would not step foot in, and now it's where everybody wants to be. So this is just kind of going to be the icing on the cake for that whole area of Scott's Addition, sort of north of Broad Street on the boulevard, right at sort of Boulevard and I-64, that little area there. This is really going to cap it off and be a beautiful addition for Richmond, Virginia. Hey guys, it's Scott Durnley here, and as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love even more, and that's helping families and folks from all over the country make the move to the greater Richmond area. I've helped countless families in my 20 plus years of real estate. So whether you're coming next week, next month, even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here and linked in the description right below in case you missed it on the pop-up screen. I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to RVA. So our last big change coming to Richmond, Virginia is another one like the Diamond that's been much needed. It involves the Shako Bottom community. Now, when I moved to Richmond in the early 90s, I lived in Shako Bottom in the Tobacco Row apartments for 3 years, and it was the place to be in the early to mid 90s. It was vibrant, it was growing, there were great shops and restaurants. It was really kind of an epicenter of city nightlife, and somehow over 30 years that has changed. Businesses moved out, restaurants closed down, and it's kind of a shadow of its former self. It's just sad because it used to be just a wonderful place. So the Shako Bottom community could soon see some big changes as the city of Richmond pushes for more economic development, green infrastructure, and avenues to promote the historic and cultural significance of the area. The plan does outline several key objectives to complete, all of which sort of highlight the diversity of the region and create economic opportunities. Now, there are 5 key goals to this plan to serve the department's roadmap moving forward. The goals are: 1, promoting the heritage, culture, and historic preservation of the area; 2, growing the local economy; 3, creating high-quality spaces; 4, expand transportation in the area; and 5, sustain a thriving environment. So historically, the Shako Bottom area served as the building blocks for the city of Richmond today. It's the oldest community in the city, and pretty much every other neighborhood expanded out of Shako Bottom. Since its fruition, the community has been served as the epicenter of commerce, and its roots were embedded in the slave trade beginning in 1872. This practice resulted in the establishment of over 60 traders of enslaved people operating in and around Shako Bottom. So this is sort of the dark history of Shako Bottom, but it's part of our history. From there, a railroad system was constructed to facilitate transportation of goods as well as people. And additionally, the community saw construction of around 6 to 8 slave jails, including the infamous Lumpkins Jail. So as the result of this dark and seeded history of Shako Bottom, the department plans heavily on promoting this history and kind of leaning into it and letting folks know about the history of slavery in Richmond, Virginia. One thing about, studying history and knowing it is just so, it never gets repeated. So the number one goal, they said, is to promote and memorialize and commemorate the heritage and culture of Shako Bottom and the preservation of historical assets. The department has also announced its plans and efforts to continue to try to establish a national slavery museum in historic Shako Bottom near the Main Street station. This is a project that's been in the works for over a decade. And it was really, this idea for this National Slavery Museum was born out of the discovery and excavation of Lumpkins Jail in the early 2000s. Now, numerous development plans have been floated to the city over the years, and none of them have resulted in shovels in the ground. But hopefully this will change, as it is really important to tell that history of slavery in Shako Bottom. Again, it's not, something Richmond is proud of, but it is part of our history. And, again, I think it's better to lean into it and tell that story and let people know. Also got a really great offer for you. My team and I have taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research, and I've linked it below. You'll find everything from top employers, the best hospitals, and a boatload of other things you'll need to know before you make that move. The best part is this guide is 100% free. All of that information is described below, so we can help you make a smooth move to Richmond, Virginia. So in addition to these historic preservation of Shako Bottom, growing the local economy is also important to this project. So there are plans to expand economic development opportunities and implement a strategy to create a sustainable mix of entertainment, food and dining, innovation, and commercial use within the community, with a specific focus on minority businesses. Additionally, in order to address ongoing affordability, the department recommends incentivizing developers to construct houses in existing vacant buildings or on surface lots with an eye on affordable housing. So following suit, the department, with the proposed initiatives, plans to create high-quality spaces by establishing a safe, clean, and walkable area with street facades, green and shaded open spaces, and new construction that complements the current historic structures. So in order to do so, the department recommends developing a plan to ensure the new construction maintains the historic character, implement neighborhood safety programs, and commit to a program to have cleaner, clearer alleys, improved trash collection, and street and sidewalk cleaning and graffiti removal. So it's really a general beautification of parts of this area. The plan also highlights an expansion of transportation options, including more walking and biking routes, as well as better access to public transportation. Along the same lines, the plan pushes for ways to create and sustain a thriving environment through planting more trees to create a wide tree canopy, and that'll actually help mitigate some of the heat in the summer, believe it or not. Then create green spaces and then manage the stormwater runoff to minimize flooding. So this is a very exciting, comprehensive plan for Shako Bottom. I truly hope it can get back to its former glory. I loved living down there in the early 90s. It was the place to be. If we can see more businesses and restaurants, fill that area, and that would just be great to have a renaissance in Shako Bottom. And it seems like the city has a plan for that, and that plan should hopefully get started implementing here very soon. Well, that's it for our video today on some changes coming to the RVA. I hope you found this information helpful and useful. Richmond, Virginia, and the surrounding counties that I always talk about is a wonderful place to live. I've been here 30 plus years since I graduated from college, and it's been one of the best choices I've ever made. Richmond is truly my home now, and I hope it can become your home as well. So whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, even 9 months, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All that information is linked in the description below. And until next time, I hope to show you around town. Have a great day, everyone.